Thank you for everyone who's been helping out, commenting, all that sort of stuff, subscribing, all that's been fantastic. Thank you. Thought I'd get it out of the way so we can just get straight into it. This week is something the way you can think about and the way you can structure, not even structure a story, it's something you can understand about a story that will make it easier for you to choose what you're going to write, how you're going to write it, and that sort of thing. What it is we're going to look at the idea of a genre versus a setting. I'll put up a quick diagram over here so we can understand. If we see down the column, we have what people would traditionally call genres. Sci-fi, Western, war films, a modern film, a period piece, a sport film, or a fantasy film. Those are, you can tell they're genres. But I'm going to say they're not so much genres as they are settings. And the genre is what's across the top. It's a drama, it's a comedy, it's romance, it's horror, or a thriller. There's more of this. I'm saying that the genre is based on the people. The setting is based on the location. Having said that, some settings come with preloaded expectations, things that would nearly make you think that they are a genre. A Western is going to be set in the Old West, but if you had a modern Western, you'd have something like Hell or High Water. If you had a Western set in the future, you might have Firefly. So Western also expands out over sci-fi or over modern. So you can come across this way to blend settings to make something new. Same way you can go across the top and blend those to make something new. Like comedy and romance came up with rom-com, which is a brand new, we'll say, subgenre, because it's working in the genre area up here, which I'm saying is going to be the genre area. And down the side you could have, we have to come up with a word for that. Not so much a subgenre, it could be a subsetting or a compound setting or a multiple setting or a vast array. We'll come up with another term for that sometime in the future. So if you look at a setting as not part of the genre, it frees you to then put a genre in with that setting. And some films have done that incredibly well. So let's look at this diagram. And this diagram is going to show some of those things that people may consider to be sub-genres. But if I'm saying, if you look at them as genre and setting, it's liberating. But let's have a look. So if we say a sci-fi is a setting and we've got a drama set in a sci-fi world, classic is Star Wars. If we go stay in the sci-fi setting, but write a comedy, we've then got the parody of Star Wars, which was Spaceballs. If we stay in the sci-fi setting, but make a classic monster movie, a horror, we have Alien. And if we get the sci-fi setting and set a thriller, we've suddenly got like that noir police film, Blade Runner. Sci-fi as the setting, but different genres, comedy, drama, horror, thriller, or even a police procedural, so a cop story. Then we've got, a cop story. Crime. Crime because it's about people. It's around the top. It's what they're doing. It's their actions. So it is the top. It's definitely along the top. If we move down to the next one, you've got a modern day romance, which would be The Notebook. If you look at a sports comedy, Major League with Charlie Sheen and those guys in it. A period horror, Nosferatu, a modern day thriller, Seven, which also again has crime in it, and a fantasy drama is Lord of the Rings. So you can see where separating out the setting from the people allows you to think of the people as the genre and the setting as the setting. This is a very short video. I'm thinking maybe this might be 4 or 5 minutes. But that's the way that I'm going to start looking at things, and how I've been looking at things for a while, but I finally found a way of articulating that to people. You can break free from a standard genre. So let's look at some of the things that in the Westerns. A Western romance. There's romance elements in all Westerns as a rule, but we could now come up with a heavily focused, like a version of The Notebook set in the Old West. If we were going to have a period romance, it would be any of those Jane Austen, the Pride and Prejudices, those sorts of stories. Could be a period. Robin Hood is always, Maid Marian's always there as a big romance. They could go away from the robbing rich and giving to the poor and focus more on the romance in Robin Hood. If we're going to say a Western and a Western horror, which is something I'm really getting a bit of a keenness to think about. If you think about a horror, you have to isolate people in a horror to make it truly horrifying, because then it gives them the sense of having to escape, because we are a herd animal. If we can get back to our people can protect us. There'll be police, there'll be safety in numbers, as we say. But the West is so isolating. You've got the stagecoach travelling. So maybe the stagecoach is a horror. So you can set it like a slasher film, or werewolves, the Wendigo, hunting down people as they're trying to travel across. They're going to travel through the night, but then there's an accident and the horse is done, the stagecoach is stuck, and they've got to wait for the next stagecoach. So they've got like a 48-hour holding off the baddies. And then there's that whole, do we go out and hunt the Wendigo during the day? Don't we hunt the Wendigo? What are we going to do? That would be a great horror set on a stagecoach in the middle of Death Valley. That's something we haven't really seen as a Western horror. You can look at the other things. So a period piece thriller, a fantasy horror. There is probably, I'm not a big fantasy fan, there's probably heaps of slasher or type horror films set in a fantasy world where there's some dragon or some mythical beast attacking a town or attacking a person or hunting it down. But you can make a slasher film out of that. I think the original idea of the werewolf came about from possibly a person with rabies. He was demented. He was attacking children and villagers. At night he would come in, and that story got twisted around over time where he was converting into a wild wolf. And that was the start of the werewolf, somewhere in Eastern to Central Europe. Very, very old story. So suddenly make a period horror film, but go back to medieval times or something. Once you can separate people from where they are, it opens up so much to you. The book is available. It's had a price drop. It's very, very cheap now. Linked by Amazon. It's a t-shirt, really good. There's a log line, another book, very cheap now. And until next time, guys, 20% off for you at Writers Duet. I make nothing, that's just for you. And until next time, guys, keep writing. Bye.